Rizal is a man whom we thought we already knew, but in reality, we still not know him. We still not do not know him in his entirety. Okay,
Now,
he lived for only 35 years, but you see the mark that he left to humanity is very deep.
now, sir, do you? I was just wondering, if we can include the. Do you have a copy of the book in front of you?
I don't have now. It's a product of frustration, actually. I wrote the book because I want a book like that. So for several decades, we used the works of Gregorio Saide, the great man and the great Rizalist, according to many, and we used the book of Leon Maria Guerrero, the works of Ambet Ocampo. Among these three, only Ambet Ocampo is the one still breathing, no? And Guerrero is hard to read, while Saide, although well researched, has become too trivial. And I think Ambit Ocampo is the middle ground of the two. Ambit provided the last four facts, I must say, in the depth of analysis of Guerrero. But what I did is this: in our book, we decided to benchmark on the textbooks of American publishers, and we departed from the usual way of presenting Rizal. Most of the textbooks about Rizal presented him in a narrative linear form. We followed that somehow, but we delve deeper with thematic discussion of his ideas. So we gave our book the title Rizal, Life as a Masterpiece. So we divided it into three parts: contexts and consciousness, the first part. Second is life as a masterpiece, and third part is the masterpieces of a lifetime. The great works of this man were discussed in depth at the last part, and we presented his the chronological narrative of his life at the second part, which if I'm not mistaken, covered 8 chapters. So that's the chronology, the usual, because most of our students cannot appreciate Rizal if you discuss his life in thematic discussion alone. So if you separate the philosophical ideas of Rizal, political ideas of Rizal, Rizal's work of art, if you focus on that way, they cannot understand the totality of his narrative. So we realize that it's still important to discuss his life from childhood to death, but somehow we have started to flesh out only the important, the crucial points in his life during those periods. No? One of the hardest part in writing history books is periodizations. So on that aspect, the work of Dr. Flor Kibuyan, his seminal work, The Nation Aborted, helped me in developing, in digging deeper into fleshing out what's important and what it's not. When I started teaching and handled courses on 100 courses on history, especially in life and works of Dr. Rizal, that's the only time I realized how short I am when it comes to knowledge, and understanding of Philippine history and society, especially the 19th century Philippines. So I started, rereading my readings during college and digging deeper when I started constructing the syllabus for the course which I was about to teach during that time. That's the time I realized there are so many things still lacking in the course and the way the course should be taught in the university. So I was forced, of course, like so many instructors of the subjects, I was forced to adapt a textbook to use a particular work of an author. In my case, initially, during my first years, I used the work of Saide because that's the easiest to understand, no? In part of the students. Although I've been wanting to use the works of Guerrero and the first edition of the works of Dr. Floro Kibuyan. But my students in the university cannot easily grasp the words, no, and the ideas contained in those books. So I settled with Saide. Now, what's the problem with using only one particular authority on Rizal? There is this parochialism when it comes to ideas, no, and ideological leanings. And I think this a problem that poses a problem as a professor, because as a professor you must expose your students to different kinds of ideologies, beliefs, and philosophy. You cannot impose only one. You have to expose them all. That's the essence of being in a university, of teaching in a university. So aside from the fact that most of the textbooks in the market lack pedagogical dimensions. When you say pedagogical dimensions, no, of the textbook, I am referring to the learning how to learn part, the arrangement,
Methodology.
the methodology, the learning how to learn part, or we call that methodology, no, in technical terms, the arrangement of topics, and the way the texts are presented. When we say text, we are not limited to written text only. In our time, when we say text, it can be visual, audio, or in some even form. In our book, I even included QR codes. I even included lectures of Professor Ambet Ocampo, wherein the students will just scan the QR code and they will be directed to the YouTube. You actually, one of your talks, I must say, has been included in the one of your interviews with our Supremes. Uh, has been included in the book because I introduced the students to the Knights of Rizal. So those are the things that I wanted in the Rizal textbooks, which I did not find when I was teaching.
Yes, sir. That brings me to my question, sir. How, in your work as a whole, in your very dignified aims, Rizalian aims, how do you see the collaboration of the Knights of Rizal, particularly maybe the headquarters, now that we have a new Supremo, or even maybe even chapters who might be interested in collaboration with your works?
Actually, I as of now, I'm still navigating within this Kalamba chapter only. I have not yet connected to the national headquarters, but my co-author, Sir Abe, has sent a word to our supreme leader that we have came up with a textbook on the Rizal course. But still, since we are not able to print it yet, uh, we still need to see what will be the part of the national headquarters with regard to this. But of course, we are very much willing to share, no, even a portion of the profit of this book to the organization, because I believe this will help a lot, especially in these very trying times, no, among our brother knights. We envision the book as a material, as a learning resource that will totally equalize the quality of Rizal course education, of teaching the Rizal course, no, to our students. I'm not saying to remove to remove entirely the teacher in the equation. Ang naisip kasi namin, this is the textbook. Pag binuklat ng bata yung chapter ng libro, binasa niya. Gusto niya makakinig ng lecture, i-scan niya lang yung QR code, makikita doon si Sir Abe o si Sir Jose nag-lecture. We decided that way, and it will be added to the second edition. But for now, we settled with, with the existing materials in the net.
Very
For
nice.
now, because that's the
Yes,
only practical solution. Because producing a
absolutely,
book, this is a self-published book actually. This is self-published, and it has costed us a lot.
absolutely.
The research, the writing, no, and the pandemic came in the way. It
That's right.
halted our plans. And I was even infected with COVID during August and early weeks of September. So it
Wow.
added up.
Oh, I'm glad
And
that you look better, and you look like you recovered 100% from the COVID, and thank God for that. So maybe we will be waiting for this published book. Maybe it'll be available on Amazon, or maybe available in local bookstores. Maybe even in the international headquarters. We will be anticipating this publication. Now, sir, has this you also write poetry in
yeah,
your among other among writing textbook, being a lecturer, professor in Rizalism. Why did you venture into poetry as well?